Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the CatEye Quick Cycling Computer. Modern cycling computers tend to all look the same with square designs and grid layout for data display. The CatEye Quick that we have here today breaks that mold with a round display and slim profile that gives it a futuristic appearance. Packaging wise, you can see you have a nice plastic window here that actually displays the computer underneath it, and then the white, black, and red color scheme that CatEye is known for. Basic specs are printed along the back and side as well. We'll go ahead and take this out of the box and we'll go over those specs. Retail price on this is $59.99. It has an inverted LCD display, so really nice visibility, and it uses a speed sensor. This is not a GPS unit, so it actually requires the speed sensor for distance and speed. It uses a CR1616 watch battery, so very simple. You just swap out the battery once it becomes depleted, and has a 7-function display that displays basic speed, distance, and time metrics. It also has an integrated out front mount, as you can see, which lets you really easily mount it onto your bike. As far as what's included with this, you can see we have the out front bracket, and then this little zip tie holding it together. Take that off. So you can see we have the computer with the bracket. Then we have another little pamphlet here with a bunch of information in it. So go ahead and open this up. So you can see we have the quick start. We have the speed sensor, which is required again for distance and speed. We have a different bracket or different rubber pad for the mount, which can handle different diameters. And then you also have another little rubber pad for mounting the speed sensor, as well as 2 zip ties for that mount. Now let's take a look at the weight of the computer. So the computer with its bracket comes in at 23 grams, so really lightweight. And then the speed sensor, along with the magnet for the spoke, that all comes in at only 19. As the Quick name implies, the CatEye Quick is designed to be quick and easy to use with a sleek design and thin profile. The most captivating part about this computer is the round display. It's just something you don't see very often. So you have an inverted LCD display, this very thin profile and out front bracket all built into one. The Quick computer isn't even a GPS cycling computer. There is no GPS chip here. There is no Bluetooth to an app. Instead, it literally uses a wireless signal to the speed sensor, and that determines your speed and distance. So that's how you get the basic speed, distance, and time metrics. So very simple design, and it's really just meant to be a data display for a current ride, and then the overall odometer. You get this wireless speed sensor, which you attach to your front wheel, and you can see very simple. So you have the little rubber backing, put the zip ties through this, and then you just have to position this so the magnet is properly placed so it can determine the speed as the wheel's rotating. As far as mounting, it's a very cool design. So you can see a nice thin profile, and it's actually 2 pieces. So if you push down on this release button, you can see it's a tab design. So a little slot slides on and then clicks into place. So this lets you attach the main part to your bike, so your handlebar setup. You get an extra rubber pad, depending on the diameter of your handlebar. So a little plastic design, very thin. And you can see it has a single bolt on the bottom, so you just install this on your bike. And then you can easily remove the computer. So if you're a commuter, you can leave your bike parked outside with the computer removed, but the bracket's still on there, so your computer doesn't get stolen. And you can see very simple plastic construction. It's all very thin and lightweight. So this is not a dual-sided mount, so you can't put a light underneath it. Instead, it's meant to be as a standalone design. The interface on this is also very simple. So you can see when you first turn it on, you have the basic configuration. There is a mode button. So that's the main button here. So I can switch between options. There's also 2 buttons on the back. There's this full data reset that's inset, so you need a toothpick or something thin to push down on that. And then you have the menu button. So I have to push down on that to confirm my option. So I'll switch to miles per hour. Click down on that. Now you set the wheel circumference. So pressing the mode button will adjust the value. And then pressing the back one confirms it. Here you can set the time, so whether it's 12 or a 24-hour format. Press the back button again to confirm. And you can always press the back button again to come back to this menu option. So very simple design, and then when you're riding, you really need to interact with the front button only. So this will toggle between the different speed displays and data options. The back ones aren't really necessary. It automatically starts the recording once you start moving, and then you can always reset the data by holding that mode button for 2 seconds. So really simple, you just get on your bike and you start riding. It'll keep an odometer and then show all your current metrics. Now let's go over the setup of the Quick computer. It's a very simple computer. Once you remove the battery cover, you can see it'll come to life. There is no power button on this, it's always on. It simply goes in standby mode. There's 2 buttons here essentially, the main front one and then the menu button on the back. There's a 3rd button and that's a full reset. So you can see you have to set the tire circumference first in millimeters. You can look this up in the manual, the basic lookup table based on your tire size. A single press will cycle the numbers, and then holding down the front button will actually switch between the fields. So very easy to use. Once you've set the values, you press the rear button to confirm it. You can also set the time, so the format, whether it's 12 or 24 hours, and then set the hour in minutes. And you can see very simple icons next to it. Again, do the short and long presses to set it, and then press the rear button to confirm, and then that's it. There's no app and there's no complication here. You only connect it to the speed sensor, so as long as they're oriented correctly, you can see it detects the speed. The head unit is also separable from the bracket, so you can see a very simple tab design. You just push down, and you can remove it. So if you're parking this outside, you can leave the bracket on your bike and then just take the computer off. It's a very sleek design, it's very distinctive. The round display is very unique, and you have the nice thin body because you have no GPS or USB rechargeable, so it looks really thin and modern. You do have the wireless speed sensor though, so you do have to zip tie that to your fork and make sure the magnet is aligned correctly. But once you've done that, you can see it's very seamless, and you pretty much have it on all the time. There's really no power button. You can see the display is very simple. You only have 7 different fields. The top one is always speed, and then pressing the top button will cycle through the bottom options, which will cycle through odometer, time, and then ride distance. It automatically starts recording once you start moving, and there is no export in the data. It just keeps a tally of the trip metrics and then keeps the odometer. You can also set the odometer if you press that rear menu button after the first configuration to enter the menu, and then you can manually input it if you want to copy over your miles from a previous computer, which is a nice feature. The display is nice and big with the 2 rows with the high contrast design. It's very easy to see during the day or night. You have nice basic metrics, so you have a pace indicator. You see a little arrow to the left of the speed. That'll point upward or downward, depending on whether you're going faster or slower than your average speed. And then the bottom is obviously configurable between the different options. Again, there's no app or no complication here. You just simply press the button to cycle through them, and most interactions will be that 1 button. Once you stop riding, it'll automatically go into a standby mode, and after an hour, it'll go into a full sleep mode, which will just show the mile per hour unit graphic on there to indicate it's still alive, but in sleep. So pretty slick setup overall. Now let's compare the CatEye Quick with other cycling computers on the market. Now when you pick a computer, you really want to figure out how much data you need and what kind of metrics you want. If you're looking for something a little more advanced than the Quick, which just displays real-time data and a basic odometer tracking, you can look at the CatEye Air GPS. It's a newer model from CatEye, and you can see a standard rectangular design with a grid layout. This can actually connect to a cadence sensor and a heart rate monitor, so you can display data. Otherwise, it is simple to use with their click tech design. So you simply push down on the bottom, and that'll actually push down the button. So very simple, but it gives you the full GPS capability that you don't have with the Quick. So you should really decide how much data you want, and in the future what you'd want. If you want to actually track data on Strava or other apps, you would want to go to something with GPS. The CatEye Quick isn't the first round cycling computer either. We have the Beeline Velo here. So it's a very cool design. It has 4 toggle buttons with their own mount design. And you can see it really depends on your cell phone. So this one displays an arrow to show the route and a little route view as well. So more advanced than the CatEye Quick, but it does require a cell phone. On its own, there really isn't much you can do with this. You have to use the app to start a route and then to monitor the route as well. And again, if you're looking for more advanced data, you can use the iGPSPORT ones. So here we have their BSC series. So this is the BSC 300, and then the 200, which I believe is $100, and this one's about $150. So these are more advanced computers. You can see this one has a color touchscreen. And then when you go to the ride view, you have round display, map view, and then all the metrics you'd ever want. It's not just 7, but probably 100 plus functions. And way up on the high-end market, you have the big touchscreen color GPS computers. We have the Bryton S800, which is about $400. But with this one, you can display everything. Time, climb challenge, you can see round displays, so tons of data. You can upload your routes, you can analyze them. While the Quick is much better for recreational cyclists. So definitely a lot of options on the market, but the CatEye Quick just really looks cool and it's easy to use. Now let's go over the pros and cons of the CatEye Quick computer. What I like about it is you have a very sleek design, has a round display with a very thin body that looks great on any bike and is very distinctive. It also has a high contrast 2-row display with the inverted LCD, so very easy to read during the day or night. And it's a simple and easy to use computer with very basic configuration, so you simply have to set some basic parameters and you're ready to ride. The main cons for this computer is the fact that it is expensive for what it is. There's no GPS, there's no data export, and it's not even USB rechargeable, so you are paying a premium for the design. Also, with the lack of GPS, you don't have any gradient or altitude displays, which is really nice when you're riding and doing a climb. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.